Hello, welcome to Senko Computer System screencast on DIS, Doctor's Information System. That is our Windows-based medical billing software. Today's screencast is going to cover ServiceChargeEntry. So let's get started. I've already typed in my user ID and password, so I'm just going to click OK. And I'm actually going to switch companies. And here we are. At the very top, you'll see a toolbar. You want to click on Charge Entry. And if you notice, it opened up a new tab called ServiceChargeEntry. The start page is open, and so it didn't touch it. It just created a new tab. Any other module that you select will just add a tab to the existing interface. So let's start by searching on a patient. I'm going to search on a patient by entering just their patient account number. And looks like it found it. The patient is Pasha Steve. The batch number, I'm just going to hit enter and bypass. I'll have another screencast specifically geared towards the batch management module, but for now we can just hit enter and bypass the batch number. I'm just going to hit enter, billing location, enter, referring doctor, enter, hospital admit date, enter. Now this is a stage where I would specify the charge date. I'm going to select 07/01/15, hit enter, and 99213. Again, I have the option of just typing in the charge code, or I can hit Control F and I can search on description as well. But for now, I'll just hit enter the charge code 99213, hit enter. I am going to enter the diagnosis code 55555. I also have the option of clicking on Control F on my keyboard to bring up the search ICD management. I can search on description, but for now I'm just going to search on the existing number of 5555. Enter. There is no diagnosis 2, so I can just hit enter. It defaulted to the provider that's on patient, office, enter. I have this particular patient has Medicare. If there's multiple payers, you could have selected a different one, but obviously it defaults to the primary payer. So enter. If I have another charge line I want to enter, I would specify it here. Otherwise, I just hit enter one more time. It'll prompt me if I want to save the charges. I can just hit enter, and it saved it. Now, we basically went over entering a simple charge. Now we want to actually look at that charge on this patient. So let's go into Ledger. At the very top toolbar, there's something called Transactions. Select Ledger. Again, same thing. You can specify the patient account number. Otherwise, you can hit Control F and search by patient last name. I'm going to hit Pasha. I'm going to hit enter. And notice that the charge that we entered is specified here at the bottom. So this is the charge that we just entered. So let's close the ledger and let's go into ServiceChargeEntry again, and let's select that patient again. Let's enter another charge. So 2441, enter. I'm just going to hit enter. We've designed ServiceChargeEntry, and for that matter, almost all our modules, to be keyboard friendly. We want to minimize the amount of time that you shift your hand off the keyboard to the mouse and from mouse to the keyboard, because that obviously affects the data entry and how fast you can input data. So I'm just going to hit enter. I'm going to specify, let's say 070315, enter, charge code, let's just say I don't know the charge code, 44, I hit enter, all charge codes that start with 44 show up, and let's say I just pick 44010, I'm just going to hit enter, I'm going to hit 55555, let's say there's a second diagnosis code, I'm just going to enter in 22, let's see what it brings up, and I'm going to select just something random, so 2218. Now let's say I had additional diagnosis codes that I wanted to enter. What you can do is you can either click on this details button over here, or as it specifies, you can just select the F2 on the keyboard. So if I do that, F2, notice that I have the ability to enter in different modifiers. So modifiers 2 through 3, diagnosis codes 3 and 4, and if I scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll see diagnosis 5 through 12, which is consistent with the new HICVA CMS 1500 form. So this is where you can enter in like injury date, hospital admit date, discharge date, so on and so forth. So for now, I'll just specify a third diagnosis. Now let's just say 77, hit enter. I'm just going to select this one. Okay, at this stage I hit OK, Alt O, and come back in here and finish off my charge. Enter, 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 enter. Let's say there's a second charge line I want to enter. Let's search for 88, hit enter. These don't happen to have here. Here's one that has a charge amount. Hit enter, 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 enter. Do you want to save changes? Enter again, yes. And there we have it. We've entered 2 charge in that session. We entered 2 charges. So if I go into the ledger, I should see a total of 3 charges. 1 that we entered a minute ago, and the 2 that we just entered now. So transactions, ledger, click on it, same thing, search on the patient. I happen to know the patient account number, so 2441, enter, and these are the 3 charges that we've entered. Notice also that I have ServiceChargeEntry open, I also have ledger open. I can open up another session for ledger. So again, now I have multiple ledgers up, same patient, or I can clear this. So as you can see, you can enter charges, and if you get a phone call, you want to look up a specific data on a ledger, you can open up ledger, specify the patient, finish your phone call, then go back into ServiceChargeEntry, where you left off. That pretty much concludes our session on ServiceChargeEntry. It was brief, but it's pretty simple. Next session I will have an advanced ServiceChargeEntry screencast, and then we'll go over some of the more advanced topics. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next screencast. Thanks. Bye.